Hey friends, Rob here. So I have a story about Les Paul. So I've wanted a Les Paul for a long time, and I did own one years ago. I think it was called the Les Paul Studio Satin, and there was a version of it that came out just before the one I'm showing here. And the one that I had, I didn't really care for it. I never liked that guitar, and I wound up selling it cheap. I wanted to bring it back to Guitar Center and get a different Les Paul, but it just it had gone past their. They have a time frame where you can bring it back if you don't like it, and I'd gone by that about a week, and so I tried to like that guitar, and I just didn't like it. Funny thing is, I sat down and played it in the store before I bought it, and so I kept it around for about a year, uh, and then I sold it cheap. I just didn't like it. I wound up selling it for $600 just to move it on. So I I tried to buy one from Guitar Center here recently. I just been I just have wanted to get a Les Paul, a Gibson Les Paul, and I found one that I really kind of zoomed in on. I was looking at a bunch of them on Reverb, and I found this one at Guitar Center, and I played it for about an hour, and I was going to buy it. I was sure I was going to buy that thing. So I went in there on Monday morning, first thing. I brought my 12-string Epiphone that I'd purchased there about a year earlier. And it was virtually new because I didn't play it. I didn't play that thing at all. And so brought it in to trade it on this Gibson Les Paul they had for $900 or 800 some dollars. So basically, they were just said they could have just said, "We're just going to take your guitar. We're not going to give you anything for it, and you're still going to pay us retail for." So I just said, "Well, I'm sorry, can't do that." So I sold the 12-string guitar, uh, and I did considerably much better than $200. And I sold it with the hard case. And so right away, I wanted to get a black Les Paul, so I bought an Epiphone Les Paul, the E1 with the bolt-on neck, and you know it's a guitar, and it's not a bad little guitar. I like it, and but I just wanted to get a Gibson Les Paul. I went back into Guitar Center, and sure enough, that old beater, Les Paul Studio, was still there, and I wanted it. And I told the manager, he was selling me a guitar cable. I told him, "Yeah, I was trying to buy a Les Paul here, and so, but it was just too much money." So he looked it up, which one it was, and he went and grabbed it and brought it up there, and he started punching the computer. I says, "I was willing to pay you 500 for it," and I just told him right out. I said, the highest I would go on it is 600, and he told me, "Well, I'll sell it to you for 800." Now, if you do the math on the deal with my 12-string guitar that I was trying to trade on, that means that on that particular day, I could have bought it for $800. All right, and yeah, you can do a math problem on that and figure that one out. But I thought it was still too much for that thing. It was a nice guitar, but it was a nice guitar for $600. So that guitar had been there since March, and it's September now, And I think it's still there, and it might be worth $500. I don't know. It's to me. I'm sure to somebody else, it's going to be worth $1,000. You know, that's just how it is, but not to me. So just recently, Gibson came out, and I've always leaned toward the studios, but they just weren't quite the way I wanted it to be. And they finally slimmed down the neck on them, and they made them a little thinner. And just recently, here in September now, I don't know how recently this is, but they came out with this new 2024 Gibson Les Paul Studio, and everybody's been talking about it. And it's got the Burstbucker Pros in it. It's got binding on the fretboard, which is cool and everything. You know, in the end, it's just a guitar, but it's just full of features. And I saw that, and here's the thing. The reason I decided to get that thing is because of the price. They priced that thing really well, and I just couldn't help it. It was just slightly more expensive than that used guitar that I was trying to buy at Guitar Center. And I thought, well, I can have a brand new one. So I went ahead and got it. It's got all the usual stuff, the tune-o-matic and the stop tail. I got this one because of the knobs. I like these knobs better. They had the squared off ones too. It's got a bound neck, which is really cool. And I've been playing this thing for about a day now, and I'm really liking it. The body's a little thinner, they say. Not that I can notice, but it's a chambered body, so this one is 7 pounds 12 ounces. And I really like that black pickguard on there. I really like black on black. I think that looks pretty cool. But that's my Gibson Les Paul. Thanks for watching.